What's going on, everyone? This is Ryan, health fitness professional for the Cardinal Health site in Mansfield, Massachusetts. Today's going to be another full body episode where we're going to be working the legs, the chest, the back, the arms, the shoulders, and at the very end we're going to be working on the core. I am going to be going over the different lengths you'll need for your TRX in all of these exercises. That being said, if you need a little more guidance on how to adjust these straps to the appropriate length, there is another video earlier on in this playlist you can check out. There isn't going to be a warm-up or cool down for this video, so go ahead and hit that pause button for about 3 to 5 minutes and just get your blood flowing, whether it's marches or jogging in place or arm swings, anything at all. Again, just to get the blood flowing all over throughout the body, because again, this is a full body workout. Then hit that play button and I'll see you for the first exercise. Okay, for the first exercise, we're going to be working on the legs. It's called the lunges. For this, you want your straps to be at a mid-length, holding like so, making sure those straps are nice and tight before you get started. Take one leg back, dip down into a lunge, stand back up, and switch legs. This is a really good way to practice form for lunges. A lot of people, when they first get started with lunges, they tend to lean forward, which is not the best thing for the knee. So use the straps so you can lean back and have as much support as you need on the way back up. To make this exercise more intense, what you can do just like that. Take a break when you need to. Try about 20 reps or so for each leg, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. Another exercise you can do at the mid-length for your straps is called the TRX fly. Very similar to the push-up, however, this time we're not going to be bending our elbows. We're going to have a slight bend, yes, but we're not going to be bending them as we go down. What I want to do is simply widen my hands out as far as I can, leaning forward just a little bit as I do, and then leaning back as I bring my hands together. The way I like to do this is to make sure that the straps will go over my shoulder, not around the shoulder. So if I'm going too low, it's going to hug around the shoulder. It's not the most comfortable thing. It's not going to kill the workout, but again, it's just a little more comfortable if you have those straps going right over the shoulder. To make this more challenging, all you have to do is take a small step back. That way you're going to lean a little farther down as you do the fly. Make sure your shoulders are down and back. There's no shrugging. You'll feel a big pinch in the shoulder blades as you go down. Keep your core nice and tight. So you'll be working your core a little bit while you're also working your arms and specifically for this exercise, your chest. Do about 15 reps of these. And then we'll move on to the next exercise. Okay. Next exercise I want to go over is for the shoulders. I call it the Y stance. For this one, I want to have, yet again, another mid-length strap. I'm trying to make this easy for you with the straps. Keeping the feet together, legs nice and straight. I'm going to lean back until my arms are nice and straight. And I want to keep my arms nice and straight as I come up and widen my hands so that I make a Y figure. Bringing it down nice and slow. I'm squeezing at the glutes and I'm squeezing my core to make sure my spine is neutral. Other people will have a tendency to move their head up or down. What I want you to do is make sure your head is nice and neutral. By that I mean pretend you have an apple or a tennis ball between your chin and your collarbone. You can literally put a tennis ball right here if you need practice for a neutral position with your neck. You're going to feel this a lot in the upper back and the shoulders. And if you're squeezing real tight, you'll feel this in the core and the glutes as well. Keeping your eyes on the base of the TRX the whole time. Make sure that your wrist is not bending. Keep your wrist nice and neutral. Do this about 10 to 15 times because it's a challenging one. And then we'll move on to the next exercise. Another mid-length exercise for you, working on your biceps. It's called the gorilla curls. This one does require a lot of focus when it comes to form, specifically in the shoulders. So again, make sure that your shoulders are down and back. You're not hunching forward. You're not shrugging. You're going to have your chest out. Leaning back just like we did in the last exercise. Arms nice and straight. This time, we're not going to bring our arms up. We are going to bend at the elbow, bringing them as far out to the side as we can, allowing our hands to tap the chest, just like a gorilla would when he pounds his chest. Working the biceps in a different angle. To make this more challenging, all you got to do is take a small step forward. It can be very, very difficult for you to have good form with your shoulders. Again, slight pinch in your shoulder blades to make sure you have a nice neutral spine. Try this for about 15, maybe 20 reps. If you feel like you just can't do any more, you might have to take a small step back. Again, finish up those reps, and we'll move on to the other part of the arms, the triceps. Okay, for this tricep exercise, it's got quite a few rules here, so I'm going to go a little slow here. First off, you want your straps to be at a short length. As for where you want to hold, I am holding onto the handle. However, I don't want to hold it with the strap going over my arm like so. I'm going to move it around so that the strap is between my torso and my arm. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. I'm going to have my feet together, and I'm going to slightly bend at the hips, and I'm going to bend at the knee as I drop down, bending at the elbows and coming back up. I want to make sure that my elbows stay in, not out. That's not going to be working the triceps as well. To make this more challenging, all you got to do is step back a little bit. First off, I am at a slight angle here. I'm not directly under where I have my TRX wrapped around on the top of my garage here. I am forward just a little bit. And again, to make this more challenging, I'm just going to step back, keeping my head down, facing the floor, all the way up. I would say try 10 reps of those if you can. If not, you could probably do up to 15. And then we'll move on to the next exercise. Bringing the straps back to mid-length, we're going to be working our back muscles. This one, we're going to be doing a leaning back pull over. So, just like it says, what we're going to do, have our feet together, leaning back yet again. This time, we're going to keep our arms straight, shoulders down and back. There's going to be a slight pinch in the shoulder blades. As we come up, we're going to bring our hands as close to our hips as possible. What I'd like everyone to try and do is when you stand up, that you touch your hips. So, for some people, you might have to start in the standing position and then allow yourself to lean back. This requires a lot of trust. Not everyone's comfortable with leaning back like this. So, the most important thing for sure is making sure your core is nice and tight. More so than I would say the glutes, because as you come up, you're going to feel your back wanting to hyperextend. To avoid that hyperextension, you have to make sure your core is nice and tight. Same deal with your head. I want to make sure that the neck is at a neutral position. So again, pretend or literally take a tennis ball, put it right there so you have neutral alignment with your neck. You'll also be working the triceps quite a bit. A lot is going on in this exercise. It is not easy. So try to do up to 10 repetitions or more, and then we'll move on to the last exercise for today, the core. For our final exercise working on the core, it's called I's, Y's, and T's. For this one, you want your straps to be at mid-length. Bring it around, facing away from where you have your TRX set up. Arms are going to be nice and straight, and you want to start in this position here, leaning forward just a little bit, arms out in front, keeping the arms straight for the entire exercise. You're going to lean forward in 3 different ways. You're going to make a letter I, where your hands are narrow, they're close to each other. You'll bring them out a little bit wider, going into a Y stance. And for the last one, you'll do a letter T. Most of these we've already done previously. The Y stance when we did the shoulders. And the T stance is very similar to our chest fly, only this time we're more focused on the core, not so much the chest. Try a different angle here. Taking your time with this one, it's not supposed to be fast paced. Your core is going to be tight during this time, so make sure your glutes are also tight, because what I want everyone to avoid is weak glutes, especially on the way up, and you end up doing this motion here. You don't want to bend at the hips. That disengages the core, and that ruins the entire point of the exercise. So keep those glutes nice and tight. Don't worry if you're not doing full range of motion. You can either do a half motion, or you can simply step forward if you want to practice full range of motion. Either way will work just fine, especially if it's your first time on the TRX straps. This is going to be a long one. I want you to practice 10 repetitions for each letter, I, Y, and T. And that'll be it for this workout. So that's it for today. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know either in the comment section below, or you can always email me from the Cardinal Health Fitness Center inbox. As always, check out our other videos on our YouTube page, or you can check out our other services at our website. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next workout.